A very warm welcome to you on this week's news capsule. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. So let's fly to different parts of the world with our positive and specially curated Igraasp news capsule. Get ready and always step up. The highlights of this week's news wrap are: in a first, 2 Indian Navy women officers set to join Frontline Warships Group, and Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh will be the first woman fighter pilot to fly Rafale jets. World mourns loss of Nepal's Rita Sherpa, first to climb Mount Everest 10 times. And US Supreme Court Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Indian teenager Udit Singhal named in UN's 2020 list of young leaders for sustainable development goals. Rescuers battle to save 270 whales stranded in Australia. 7 feet tall robots work in Tokyo convenience stores. And finally, our very interesting F2 segment. It's now time to begin with our national news segment.
In a first in the history of Indian naval aviation, 2 women officers, Sub-Lieutenant Kumundi Tyagi and Sub-Lieutenant Riti Singh, have been selected to join as observers and will be the first set of women airborne combatants who will be operating from warships. In another first, Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh will be the first woman pilot to fly Rafale, India's most modern multi-role fighter aircraft. This is indeed a landmark occasion for our women pilot officers.
Tata Projects, one of the subsidiaries of India's biggest conglomerate Tata Group of companies, has won the bid to build the country's new parliament building. As per the plan, a new triangular-shaped parliament building will be constructed while the current parliament building will be revamped. The exterior structure of the historic building will be kept intact. The new parliament building is expected to be completed by 2022 when India celebrates 75 years of independence.
Rita Sherpa, the first man to climb Mount Everest 10 times, also known as Snow Leopard for his climbing skills, died of a lengthy illness last week. He was a climbing star and his death is a major loss for the global climbing fraternity. US lost a US Supreme Court Justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a liberal and legal icon last week. At just over 5 feet tall, Ms. Ginsburg was considered a giant in the legal world. These brave hearts made history and we salute them.
Udit Singhal, an 18-year-old boy from India, has been named by the United Nations in the 2020 class of 17 young leaders for promoting Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The teenager is the founder of Glass to Sand, an initiative that is based on a zero-waste ecosystem to tackle the challenge of glass waste in Delhi. He started the project in late 2018 when the demand for glass bottles dropped considerably because of the requirement of large storage spaces and huge transporting cost. Shingle's initiative has already helped in preventing 8,000 bottles from going into landfills and produced 4,815 kilograms of high-grade commercially viable silica sand. Kudos to Singhal for being this agent of change.
About 270 pilot whales are stranded in Strahan, a small town in Tasmania, an island off the southern coast of Australia. Though mass whale strandings occur relatively often in Tasmania, such a large group has not been seen in the area for more than a decade. It's not entirely clear what drew the whales to the shore. Experts feel it is the strong bonding between the whale groups that often causes all of them to strand. Wishing the team of marine experts and government officials the very best for this rescue operation.
You might have seen people smiling, but have you heard of smiling turtles? Well, the Burmese turtle found in Myanmar are famous for their permanent smile. They are one of the world's most endangered turtles. However, conservationists in Myanmar have successfully brought them back from the brink of extinction. Measuring up to 2 foot long, these turtles have bulging eyes as well as upturned lips. Around thousands of these turtles now live at 3 facilities in Myanmar. A great work done to save such smiles.
Earth's nearest planetary neighbor, Venus, suddenly looks more intriguing as a potential abode of life. Last week, an international team of astronomers announced that it had remotely detected the presence of phosphine, a potential chemical in Venus's atmosphere, possibly generated by living organisms. However, just finding phosphine is not the same thing as finding hard evidence of life. The next obvious steps will be sending a robotic probe to take a closer look. NASA and other agencies will now need to put in a lot of effort and arrive at persuasive evidence of life on Venus.
Japan has almost a third of the population aged 65 and above, and finding workers there is becoming a major challenge. Increasingly, companies are turning to technology as a solution. Recently, 2 of the biggest convenience store franchises in Japan, Family Mart and Lawson, were seen deploying robots named Model T at their stores. The robot is 7 feet tall when extended to its full height, moves around on a wheeled platform, and wears a virtual reality headset and special gloves that lets them feel the product they are holding. Microphones and headphones also allow them to communicate with people in the store. Interesting, isn't it?
The IPL season for 2020 has begun, and it has been an exciting start for the audience as well as the players. Here are the big highlights from this week. The season opener between Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians saw a record viewership. It was history in the making, as nearly 20 crore people were glued to their screens, making it the most watched match of any sports league across the globe. Well, don't be surprised. It was Dhoni's first match since he announced retirement. Guess everyone wanted to see Thala Dhoni. Kings 11 Punjab skipper KL Rahul created a historical record by scoring 132 runs of just 69 balls. This is not only the highest score yet by an Indian in the IPL history, but it is also the highest by an IPL team franchise captain. And finally, IPL 2020 saw the first super over of the season in its very first week. The match between Delhi Capitals and Kings 11 Punjab was tied at the end of 20 overs. But it was Delhi who came out on top in the super over thanks to Kagiso Rabada's super spell.
Last week, Swedish pole vaulter Armand Duplantis broke Sergei Bubka's 26-year-old outdoor world record. Duplantis cleared 6.15 meters with his second attempt, beating Bubka's mark of 6.14 meters. Nicknamed Mondo, the 20-year-old Duplantis was born and raised in the United States. He was a child prodigy who broke age group records on his way to joining the pole vaulting elite, and he chose to compete internationally for Sweden, his mother's home country.
Footballer Lionel Messi can register his name as a trademark after a 9-year legal battle. The Barcelona footballer had first applied to trademark his surname as a sportswear brand back in 2011. However, the player faced troubles when the cycling company Massey argued that the similarity between their logos would cause confusion. However, recently, according to the EU court ruling, Mr. Messi is in fact a well-known public figure. The football player's fame counteracts the visual and phonetic similarities, and Messi can now register his name as a trademark.
Here's great news for all you chocolate lovers. Lindt, the chocolate tycoon, has launched the largest chocolate museum, the Lindt Home of Chocolate. The museum also boasts of the world's largest chocolate fountain, measuring over 9 meters tall, with 1,500 liters of chocolate flowing through it. Tennis ace and serious chocolate fan, the Lindt brand ambassador Roger Federer unveiled the towering gooey fountain before it opened to the public. The museum offers an interactive tour where visitors can learn about the history of chocolate, as well as the production process in Lindt factories that turns beans into bars, with plenty of tasting opportunities along the way. Mouth-watering, isn't it?
Virtual Online Museum of Art (VOMA) is the world's first entirely virtual museum. This museum does not exist in real life but only online. The museum is set within a computer-generated building that allows visitors to freely walk through the building and outside. The museum's creator is an English artist named Stuart Semple who wanted art to be free for all so that everyone across the world can enjoy it. In order to enter the museum, viewers must first install the free VOMA program onto their computers. Then they can visit it anytime.
Littering is a crime, but not many laws are being enforced against it. But did you know, Igraspers, that if you litter in the Thai National Park, your rubbish should be shipped back to you as a stark reminder that you need to keep your natural surroundings clean and to avoid littering. The visitors also need to register themselves in the park along with their addresses so that it makes it easy for the rangers to track down the litterers.
Can you guess who? This Indian playback singer is lovingly called Didi. She has sung songs for more than 1,000 films in over 20 Indian languages. She is the recipient of many honors, including the Dada Saheb Phalke Award and Bharat Ratna. It is the Nightingale of India, Lata Mangeshkar. Did you know that initially Didi was not allowed to sing because her voice was too thin? Later, her song "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo" brought tears to Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Igraspers, this shows that true talent can never be suppressed. So continue to work on your talents.
The word of the week is voluble, which means talking fluently, readily, or incessantly. He is quite voluble. He will do well in the debate competition. The riddles of the week are: what has a neck but no head? It's a bottle. What gets wetter as it dries? Yes, it's a towel. Did you know that chocolate is made from fruits of the cacao tree? These trees were first cultivated by the Mayan and Olmec people of Mexico in Central America more than 3,000 years ago. In those days, chocolate was consumed as a bitter beverage and was part of every meal. The Aztec people even used it as a currency to buy food and other things. Now that's a delicious fact.
Quiz time! Which was the earliest European country to incorporate chocolate into its cuisine? Write your answers to contact us at igraasp.com. Answer for the last week's quiz. The first animals to be sent to space were fruit flies. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Ritubrata Datta, of St. Augustine's Day School, Barrackpore, for successfully participating in the weekly quiz on India's leading news capsule for tweens, Igraasp.
Igraspers, if you fancied being alone on an island, Nim's Island is the perfect read for you. Nim, a young girl, lives on an island with her explorer father, Jack, her marine iguana, Fred, Selkie the sea lion, and a turtle named Chica. It's a life of adventure and learning. The only problem is that Nim's father, Jack, goes on an expedition to study plankton when a storm hits his boat. Now Nim must rise up to the occasion to survive the island till her father returns. What will she do? Will her father return safe? Read the book and share your feedback on contact us at igraasp.com.
This brings us to the end of our news wrap. Happiness is a choice. Optimism is a choice. Whatever choice you make makes you. So until we meet again, choose wisely and stay calm. Bye bye.